Well, it's Ken with MrTruck.com on another accessory review. I'm here with Anthony of Jayhawk. We're going to hook up his RV to his, well, it's going to be a two-part thing. We got the Gen Y Boss Torsion hitch, and we're going to put the Andersen attached to that. So we've got all kinds of things going on. And the Andersen, this is my favorite weight distributing hitch. It has anti-bounce, it has sway control, it has all that. It has like 3 different things it does when you're pulling a trailer. And it's amazing. The weight distributing is it pulls the trailer toward the truck, different than the spring arms. And then it has the neoprene bushings on the chains, and that actually takes the bounce out. And then of course it is sway control, and we'll show you how that works with the cone and the ball. The ball goes into a cone on the aluminum hitch head, and it's got like a brake lining in there, and which is replaceable, and they'll last forever anyway. But that actually is your sway control, so you never have to grease the ball because the ball goes with the trailer. It all makes sense to me. I've seen these at SEMA like 10 years ago, and I've been using them ever since and selling them ever since. I think they're just awesome. They're my best weight distributing hitch that I sell the most of, and it's really good for you cowpokes who don't want to go through all that work on the weight distributing hitch, because 10% of my equestrian friends will use a weight distributing hitch, but it's like 90% of my RV friends. So there you go, trying to make it easy for everybody to hook these up, and they hook up so fast. It takes 2 minutes to hook these up, which is awesome. So we're going to put this thing together, show you the install, and we'll talk about how it works. And I've done a lot of testing on this, and Anthony's going to have his own series of tests. We'll see what he thinks of this. So come join us for the review of the Andersen no bounce, no sway weight distributing hitch. It's unique. Well, to start off, we're going to explain where we're at. We're using this Gen Y hitch, Boss Torsion Flex. I love these things. I use them all the time pulling trailers too. And this has got torsion axles similar, these 4 rods in each one of these square boxes, and they're frozen, they're stuck in there, and then they flex. And they actually isolate the truck from the trailer, so the truck doesn't fill the potholes that the trailer hits, the trailer doesn't fill the potholes the truck hits. So instead of being one solid chunk of iron that hits everything together, you don't. You isolate them. That's the purpose of these. And they work really well. And so what we're trying to do in this instance is really double down on that. And what Andersen uses is these neoprene bushings on each side on the chain. That's what you tighten up to give it the weight distributing hitch type style. So these are the flexing part on this hitch. We're using both kinds. And with this here, we'll tighten it up and get it really good and tight. And that pulls the trailer into the hitch to give it the weight distributing. But this is the anti-bounce part of it, which nobody else has, which is really cool. So we're going to use 2 different ways to smooth out your ride. Hopefully this will make the best run and rig on the road. So that's what our purpose is, and we're about to put it all together. Okay, Anthony, let's put this rig together. And that's the shank, and this is a new 6-inch one. They've had 8 and 4, now they got a 6 in there, so they can fit anything. And that's what Anthony needed, was a 6-inch. We got it. So this is the new one. We're making these now. And getting that down. Oh yeah, he's got a locking pin in there. He's got all the cool stuff. That's the hitch head, we call it hitch head. And this is 2 5/16 ball. We can go with a 2-inch ball. This gives us that 14,000 pound trailer capacity. And we'll talk a lot about this cone here. This is where the sway control is. Well, here's the brake lining cone they talk about. This fits in the hitch head, and then the ball goes all the way through this out the bottom of the hitch head. That's what it looks like. They call that a brake line. And that's as the cone goes down with the weight of the tongue, it self-adjusts your sway control. It's really cool. That ball goes all the way through, and that has a sleeve in there. It's like a brake liner, and that actually is a friction. So the ball stays with the hitch. You never have to grease it, and it will just swing around, and that's the friction. And it's an automatic friction control, because what it will do, it will actually, the more weight you get on it, the tighter the friction control is. So it self-adjusts. It's an automatic sway control. It's all done by the main hitch pin going all the way through into that brake liner, and it's all cone shaped, so the heavier, the deeper it goes. Man, we are getting good. We're not just goofing off. We got a torque wrench here, man. And this is actually a pretty quick installation. We already did his measuring, so we know how we are with leveling the trailer. He's got a really nice RV. It's got automatic leveling legs. And look how adjustable it is. Being a 6-inch, you can go up and down for the taller the truck is to make all this work. And this is a 3/4 ton GMC Denali 2500. So it's the heavy duty rig. We got all kinds of room. That's about where it ends up. The shank's almost to the bottom of Gen Y. It's close. But that's cool. We're not going to be dragging on any dirt here. This is good. So that's that part. Now the next part is putting the brackets on the A-frame. Okay, Anthony, we've got this thing hooked to the trailer and everything's lining up. We're going to start working on the chains now. And the first thing is the chain spreader plate he's putting on now. That's where your chains hook to the bottom of the pin, and those will rotate with the trailer when you're turning corners. So the ball will rotate with the coupler. Nothing, there's no friction there. Friction's all when you put the weight on it. The weight pushes the ball down, so automatically creates sway control for you. And there's the first chain, comes with all these hardware, all the clevis. And then we'll hook it up to that bushing. Okay, then you're gonna line up that chain so it's straight and not twisted. And you got that arm. Now we've got the chain through the bracket for the tongue and sliding it over there. And we get the bushing, the red bushing, and the washer and the big nut on there. Cool. And then it looks like the chain is straight, and he's going to pull it all back tight. And this is a bracket that'll do 4-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch. This is 6-inch. The A-frame on this trailer is 6-inch. It's all fitting real nice. Okay, so there's what one side looks like. Let me zoom out. That's going all the way from the hitch head, which goes into the shank, which goes into the truck receiver hitch, in this case a Gen Y torsion flex. So that's put together there. And we'll put the other side together and we'll start tightening things up. Get it all lined up, ready to road it. And Anthony's putting it through the trailer bracket, the outside where the bolt goes through it. And all this is angled, made to line up with the angle of what's on a hitch head, the chain spreader plate. And this is good. This frame lines up pretty well. It's got the propane tanks and the batteries, and the brackets for the Andersen are have plenty of room, so we can adjust it on a 6-inch frame. Pretty good.
Center of the plate is a little over 28, right at 28 and a half.
Okay. Well,
Let's check the other side.
That's not.
So now.
So is there 2 threads sticking out on both of them?
1.5 to 2.
Yeah. And we are off the ball?
Yes.
Yeah, because
I'm going to get these close to where they're going to be snug. That way I don't sit here and ratchet for 10 minutes on the...
Oh, that's part. Yeah, that part you need impact. Yeah. We're torquing up the brackets that go onto the trailer tongue. They're the chain brackets. And that chain's starting to get tight. Okay. Anthony's tightening up the trailer tongue brackets, the A-frame. Cool. Now, I think we're going to drop the coupler on the ball, actually attach it, lock it in place, and then we'll start tightening up those. Now we're tightening up the chain to make the weight distributing part of this Andersen, no bounce, no sway, weight distributing hitch system. This is how I do it. I get and jack them up as tight as I can by hand. How many threads do you think you got? You got a lot. That's good. How's it feel? Does it feel really tight?
It's snug.
Okay. Let's call that one good then. So now we're on the other side, on the driver's side. Anthony's going to crank the hell out of this side. And see, that should, even though we got weight on it, that should actually level out the chain spreader. So that's how I do it too. When I'm cranking them, I look at it and see if they're going to be pretty well equalized. You got to go some more. You think you're close to where you were on the other side? And you got enough tension on that chain for sway control and weight distributing. The change of the weight distribution, the cone where the ball goes, and I'll show you pictures of that. That is your sway control. Totally an automatic sway control system. Okay, now Anthony's going to screw in the little set screw. There's a set screw with a nipple on it that goes into your frame, and the instructions say to drill a hole. I don't like drilling holes in frames. Because it will push into the frame and it won't go anywhere. So it's just like a secondary way to keep things in place. Screw for the other side. That just keeps that bracket on the tongue of the trailer in place. Okay, we got this sway control plate. It's kind of like a chain spreader. We got that pretty well lined up perpendicular to the trailer. So yeah, we got a whole bunch of cool things going on. Then I don't think that these other chains are part of it. That's just the safety chains hooked to it. We've got these chains really tight now. So now we got sway. Of course we got sway control, but we've got weight distribution hitch, and it's the anti-bounce system that these neoprene bushings will give you. So let's go climb some mountains with it, see what it does. Cool. Now we've added a little more to the safety chains, but it looks like the cord's going to work because we got a lot of hitches all connected here. And Anthony's already done that. Got a little longer safety chain, and there you go. There's the setup. And we'll let you know what Anthony thinks, if this is smoother or where it's at. I think that looks cool. All in a day's work. We might have taken a little more than 2 minutes to hook it up, but we had to do all this stuff and all the filming. The camera takes up so much time.